Hey everyone, Flint True Channel. Want to expose this clown, Joseph Foreman, Afroman. The whole him winning his court case in Ohio, and him making all these songs about the deputies, about the 2022 raid on his home. Obviously, he's a member of the occult, and if you give me some time to prove it to you, I'm going to. So, as you guys can see right here, Afroman prevails in cops' music video defamation suit after a brief but viral trial. Um, so, yeah, and as you guys can see, um, he is making the news right now. Why is he a popular person? Let's talk about it. Now, as I've said, time and time again, you have to sell out in this world to make it. Now, this goon who, does nothing but spread, for everyone to be high, smoking marijuana all the time, and, just be like him, smoke a bunch of marijuana, don't be productive, don't have structure, don't do blah, 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 be a pothead like him, that was what his whole song, Because I Got High and all that stuff. Of course, he is a former gang member of the eight Trey Gangsta Crips, joining the set at the age of 11. Surprise, surprise! As you see in the background, the OES Masonic female fraternity paddle with the inverted pentagram on there, which is supposedly the Star of Bethlehem, which isn't. That's a whole nother lie. It's a satanic occult symbol, and OES right there, Order of the Eastern Star. Again, he wouldn't be where he was if it wasn't for um, him being connected to masonry. And like I've told people before, you gotta sell out. Doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how talented you are. People say, oh, Afroman is just talented, that's why he made it. No, he made it because he is involved in an organization, a fraternity, a brotherhood that pushed him. Okay, it doesn't matter how much talent you got out there, that means nothing. As you can see, there's three little genie of the lamps over there, to catch energies and spirits and whatnot. But yeah, again, make no mistake about it, he's a Mason, he's an occultist, and he wouldn't be where he was if he didn't sell out. And as we just were talking about, he just won his lawsuit, right? And the funny thing about it is, if you ask Google's AI, which we all know is wrong a lot of the times, of course, right? And it's they give you their targeted responses that they want you to get, that they want you to see, usually hiding real truth, suppressing real truth to push out whatever answer or narrative they want you to receive. Um, so again, if you look up an AI, it'll tell you that he's got no Masonic connections, that he was a dropout of high school, and he was never in a fraternity. And as you guys are going to see, of course, what is the OES paddle? The Order of the Eastern Star, right there. The full name, line name, charge name, chapter name, city and state. OES, Queen Number 5, St. Paul Grand Lodge, Free and Acquainted Maintenance Master Masons, Dorcas Grand Chapter, OES, Order of Eastern Star, Faithful, Fabulous, and Fierce. 3 F's right there for you. And as you can see going down, the fraternity, you see, fraternity, you see Masonic organization again. And as you can see, even African American sororities right there. And it's not by, uh, you know, it's not by random mistake that Afroman made it. It's not by random mistake that he won his case. If you and I were to make a bunch of videos defaming police officers, saying that we slept with their wives and we did this and we did that and it was all lies, you and I would be held accountable. That would be called defamation. But not for Afroman. It's his artistic freedom. So the whole thing's a joke. Like I said, he wouldn't be where he was today if he didn't sell out. Of course, he's a part of the Mason Brotherhood. Of course, he's a part of the fraternities, which I've said time and time again. Doesn't matter how talented you are, eventually you're going to come to a point where you'll hit a brick wall if you're not connected to these establishments, if you're not connected to these clubs, and you will not make it any farther. and you have to sell out. It just is what it is. The most prominent symbol on an OES paddle is the inverted pentagram, which is often misunderstood, and which is not misunderstood. It's a satanic, occult symbol, which I'm gonna show you guys. The white ray points downward towards the manger, symbolizing humility, service, and the descent of the divine light into the world. Yeah, the divine feminist light into the world. The five Hieronyms. Each point of the star represents a biblical woman whose story illustrates a specific virtue. Ade, blue, obedience and self-sacrifice. Ruth, yellow, loyalty and religious. Estar, white, courage and fidelity. Martha, green, faith in the morality of the soul. Electa, red, fervent love and endurance of her persecution. Many OES paddles and emblems feature the letters fatal, Fatal, surrounding the center pentagon. While the exact phrase is only revealed to initiated members during ritual, it is widely understood by the public to stand for fairest among thousands, altogether lovely, a reference to the Song of Solomon. Esoteric tools and emblems. You may also see these specific symbols on a paddle each with a moral lesson. Sword and veil representing the protection of honor and revealing of truth. Broken column, a symbol of mortality and the transient nature of life. Crown and scepter representing spiritual authority and divine favor. The cup, the chalice, symbolizing hospitality, and the cup of life or charity. Why a paddle? The use of a paddle specifically is a cultural rite of passage common in fraternities and sororities. It's traditionally represented the molding of a new member into a disciplined and respectable individual. Though today it is strictly a gift of mentorship, often from a little to a big, to honor their shared bond. And again, make no mistake, that's why Afroman's big. That's why his songs are made to be out there. That's why, nobody knows who this guy is for 20, 25 years. You haven't heard nothing from him. And he's still rich, 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 rich. And got, all this money. And it's like, how? He had one song 26 years ago, and he's a multi-millionaire. So it's because he's connected. He's part of the brotherhood. He's sold out. He's part of the fraternities. Don't let them lie to you and tell you, oh, he didn't go to college. He dropped out of high school. Again, he was a gang member. That's what these I've been telling you guys, it's just like, many other molding grounds, meeting grounds. That's what these gangs are. All these upper echelon gang members, they're all part of the fraternities. They're all connected. They all work together. How do you think the drugs get in the streets? It's not just the CIA putting it there and nobody knows nothing. These gang members and high-ranking drug members are in on it, and they, of course, sell out their own kind for money. Sell out their... And when I say sell out their own kind, I don't mean as in race. I just mean as in fellow poor people, fellow... supposedly brothers and sisters, and in Christ, and they sell them out. Obviously, when I say in Christ, the gang member isn't a Christian, so obviously that wouldn't apply to them. They have no morals. They don't care about putting drugs out and whatnot. But it's just a connection to make, to know that these high level gang members, and these gang members, they're just like fraternities. They work the same way. That's why they have the same symbols, okay? They didn't just come up with these symbols. So, again, as we said before, it has nothing to do with the Star of Bethlehem, as they wanted to say. The inverted pentagram is a 5-pointed star with 1 point facing down, commonly associated with Satanism, the occult, and the reversal of the traditional of spiritual order. And that's why I highlighted that right there. I wanted you guys to see that a 5-pointed star with 1 point facing down, commonly associated with Satanism, the occult, and the reversal of traditional spiritual order. So that's what it's all about, the reversal of spiritual order. Remember, the law of reversal. That's how these people work. They operate on the law of reversal. They operate on deception. And the law of duality. It often symbolizes the triumph of matter over spirit, the horned goat or Baphomet. It is often used in modern, darker magical traditions. Again, and as you can see, Um, his OES board was like war and withered, to let you kind of know, is like it's kind of a symbolic to let you know that he's not a new member. He's not. He's been in the club for a while. Um, it's just ridiculous. Satanism and the occult, adopted by the Church of Satan as a part of the sigil of the Baphomet, is often represents the goat of Mendes, a symbol of rebellion and individuality, reversal of order. Historically, a pointed up star represents the spirit ruling over the four elements. Matter, inverting it suggests matter, the two upward points ruling over the spirit. Medieval and Christian usage. In early Christianity, the inverted pentagram was sometimes used to represent the 5 wounds of Jesus Christ before it was later linked to evil in the 19th century. And I'm going to tell you that it's been an evil symbol long before the 19th century. So, but this is one of the things that they'll tell you, especially with the AI, because they don't want people to know the true history of Satanism, the occult, and what these people truly believe. Some modern esoteric interpretations view it as representing the element of earth for grounding or the descent of spirit into matter rather than playing evil, according to the Alchemy England. The sigil of Baphomet, the official copyrighted symbol of the Church of Satan, which places the goat's head inside the inverted star, surrounded by the circles and Hebrew letters. Inverted pentacle. Similar to the inverted pentagram, it is often enclosed within a circle, commonly used in dark magic rituals and the depiction in horror jewelry. Yeah. And anyways, as you guys can see, um, it's occult. It's satanic. In the order of the Eastern Star, the paddle itself. I believe we already read this. Yeah. Um, I think I already read that too. The Decrum. Yeah. An OES paddle refers to decorative wooden paddles used by members of the Order of the Eastern Star, a Masonic fraternal organization. Again, like I told you guys, it's a Masonic um, ritual piece, and again, that's why you see it in his video and in the interview he's given. In the Greek and fraternal community, these paddles serve as symbolic gifts to represent membership, celebrate big to little mentorship bonds, commemorate or to come to that's funny. Commemorate initiation. Most OES paddles feature the organization's name or acronym and its signature 5-pointed star emblem. They are strictly intended for decorative use and are often displayed in the offices or homes, as you guys just seen in his video. I know we're not looking to purchase none of the crap. Okay, we're going to get to the final thing right here. Again, this is from 2006. They try to tell you that this guy wasn't a part of the fraternities, right? Afroman returns to fraternities and sororities. SESP sophomore Jackson Frolickenlong went back to his room in Chisai around midnight Friday to change his shirt and found Afroman there. There was the man himself, everyone's favorite celebrity, hanging out in my chair, he said. Afroman, best known for his 2001 hit Because I Got High, returned to the fraternity house after performing at Tommy's Nevin's Pub Friday night for about 85 students. Just through the glass door, people ate and drank in a restaurant, as often called one-hit wonder, sing by why he didn't clean his room, make it to class, or go to work. To be honest, it was real easy, he said. Afroman's agent contact information is posted on his website. Yeah, right. Oh, how'd you get him over here? Oh, yeah, it was just easy. Yeah, I'm sure it's real easy to get a star to come to your party. No, it's real easy if you're part of the fraternities and you're a fellow brotherhood member, and you just say, hey, fellow brotherhood member, would you come and do this for your fellow brother? And they're obligated to, so of course he's going to do it. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. If you guys have heard about the whole Afroman story in the news going around, of course he's a sellout. He's only made it because he's sold out. All these people in this world, like I said, they're part of the Masonic Brotherhood. It's not just a couple. It's not just a few. They're part of either one fraternity or another. It's period. It's just how they work. And once you're a part of these networking fraternities, then they promote you. Then you can be successful, especially if you got a talent that you can share with somebody. So that's how these things work. Understand that it doesn't work on talent. It works on who you know. That's why people like Kelly Osbourne, can be musicians, and sing songs like she was doing back in the day, because her daddy's got power, because she's got connections. Um, so, because she's Ozzy's daughter, and that's just the way that it works in this world. If you're part of the fraternity, part of the brotherhood, that's what they do. They self promote from within, and outsiders are not allowed. And you're not going to know the secrets. You're not going to know, unless you're initiated, you're not going to know the meanings. You're not going to know the secrets. And the funny thing about it is, even when you do get to be a part of these so-called, brotherhoods, but they're nothing but satanic organizations, they lie to all the lower ranking members, and it's just, it's all about the occult and duality, so we tell them that these symbols and signs and symbols or whatever, and that they mean this, when really, when you get in the higher degrees, they tell you that it means something totally else. So again, they work on the law of duality, and that's what they do. They're tricksters, they're fraudsters, and we shouldn't be surprised. So hope this was enlightening to you, edifying to you, and hopefully you learn some truth. So God bless each and every one of you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.